What is this? What is this? LUNCE'S list. What is this? Oh. What is this? What is this? LUNCE'S list. LUNCE'S list. Oh. LUNCE'S list of 5. LUNCE'S list of 5. LUNCE'S list of 5. LUNCE'S list of 5. Yeah.
All right. That was
awesome.
Felt that one deep in my bones. Let's do it again, John. One more time. I'm kidding. Don't do it again. It's just a one-time thing.
Real quick, do you guys like Prime, the drink?
I haven't tried it.
I have actually never had it before.
I actually like it. Yeah.
Okay.
It sells like crazy.
Do.
I assume it's good.
I do enjoy it. And my dad got the little packets that you can put into your water, and like it's good.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll bring y'all some tomorrow.
So you're rooting for Jake Paul in this fight, from what I hear.
I mean, sure. Why not?
You don't care.
Yeah.
Let's get into LUNCE'S list, which is a topic that I genuinely want to know the answers on. That's why I give Lunce his list topic every day. I genuinely want to know this. I just had to think about this one because originally it was going to be pick the 5 musicians that you'll pay to see every single time you have the chance to see them. And then I got to thinking, like, I think I know that list. I think the Midnight's on there.
Yep.
I think Taylor Swift is on there.
Yep.
I think there's a chance Lady Gaga's on there.
Yep.
I think that there's other ones that I can't think of immediately, but there is.
That'd be 1, 2, 3 on the list.
I kind of had a list there of like, I know that list. I don't know this list. And that is, what 5 music acts would you pay to see live in person that you have never seen before? And there were some stipulations around all this. We talked that out, but I don't know who's going to be on this list and what the order is going to look like. I don't know anything about it. I'm looking forward to it. John went into the mentality with LUNCE'S list today.
Let me preface this by saying, while there are certain bands and certain artists that I absolutely love, I am not a concert guy whatsoever. I don't like going to concerts. Even when we go see the Midnight, which is our shared favorite band of all time, I hate standing up at concerts, and the venues they play, being a smaller band, are all stand-up venues. I always try to get how much money can I possibly pay so I can sit down when I'm there and not have to be in the middle of the pit with everybody.
And we've done that.
And we do that.
And it's been excellent.
I'm more than happy to pay them every penny I have to be able to just sit down and enjoy the concert. But
I hate standing because I block entire rows of people that hate
I'm that way
me.
too. I can imagine you're that way. Yeah. So I just am not a concert guy. But with all of these, I thought if I could have like a little magic. So Taylor Swift's, Eras tour going on now. I saw her when she came to Atlanta. I was on the floor and it was a miserable experience. Now we got to have the whole VIP treatment or whatever, but it was miserable because you miss so much. The stage was like a screen that would have, effects and stuff on it. And I couldn't see any of that sitting on the floor. I had to look up at her, and the lights on the bottom were blocking. It just wasn't a good experience. Well, if you're sitting up high, you maybe can't experience the same sound you get sitting low. If I could have a magic little pod sitting about 50 feet back and up in the air, and like my own special little box. You know how in this is really nerdy, but like in the prequels of Star Wars, they had those little like circle discs at the Senate that would go out and they talk. If I could have one of those that would float out there and watch the concert.
It's the one the ETs were in.
The one the ETs were in, that's right.
ETs were in.
If I could go out there and I could sit there and say, I have my own private pod out here floating in midair that I can watch this from the perfect vantage point, then it's like, okay, who would I want to see?
Spoiler alert, John just said this is going to sound really nerdy. The whole show has sounded nerdy. So
sorry, I guess
I'm just going to say that you don't have to put a trigger warning on it being nerd talk.
Yeah.
That's what we've been doing.
But I also consider myself very musical. I can play the guitar. I can play the piano. I was in show choir. I've done musicals on stage before. I've done all this kind of stuff. I'm very musical, but like, I just don't, I'm a creature of habit. So when I get a certain song stuck in my head, it is that way, and I don't want it any other way. You put live stuff on and I get people like the live music versions of stuff, but you put a lot of live stuff on the Poker Club playlist.
To keep it fresh.
And every time I hear something that's a little off from how I just know it in my head, where I've listened to it a million times in a row, I've been playing the same playlist since the Super Bowl because it has one Usher song on it that I listen to. And I just listened to the same thing for a month.
Which Usher song is it?
It's DJ Got Us Falling in Love.
Oh, so good.
What he did with Pitbull. But I'm just a creature of habit. So then a live version.
Falling in love again. Did you see what we just Barry Gibb that thing?
Which one of y'all's Pitbull? Which one of y'all's Usher?
I feel like, I don't know.
On the Barry Gibb talk show. Talking about LUNCE'S list. Talking about geopolitical matters. Okay. That's a good impression for those that know what I'm doing.
That's an impression of Jimmy Fallon.
Yeah.
Doing, yeah. Okay.
Please tell me that was
Moving
on
past
camera.
that,
Was that on
please.
camera?
It was. I have no idea what it was.
Okay,
though.
sorry. That was good. I promise that was good. Continue.
Oh God, when it's different in the live version, it drives me insane because it's like that's not how I remember it listening to it 5,000 times over the last week. Certain songs are just that way. So I'm just not a fan of live music in general.
All right.
But I can totally respect certain aspects of live shows, especially more of the spectacle of live shows, like you get from Taylor Swift's current tour, like you get from I saw Lady Gaga in Vegas. It's crazy spectacle in that residency. That's the kind of stuff I typically like. So anyway, with that said, let's go to the list.
Let's go to the list. We talked about the Paul versus Tyson matchup. If you feel like you've been punched in the mouth, the dentist that I wholeheartedly recommend, work at Alabama Dental Associates. Dr. Jeff and Dr. Brian, they're the best at what they do. I've had bad dentists visits in the past at other practices. I'm a patient at Alabama Dental, and I am not going back to the days of skipping regular checkups. You shouldn't either. They have the friendliest staff in the business. You'll hear that friendly tone from the first time you pick up the phone and make an appointment with Alabama Dental Associates, located there on Grants Mill Road at 205-956-8977. It's 956-8977. The team, once again, ready to help you with all of your dental care needs at alabamadental.com. All right, John, number 5, Dragon Force. This could be a made-up thing. I don't know who this is.
Tyler, you know what Dragon Force is?
Yeah, Guitar Hero Through the Fire and Flames, right?
That's right. All right, so I'm not a giant Dragon Force fan. However,
You'd be willing to pay to see them in a...
just let
Okay,
me explain.
Magical
right.
pod
Easy.
floating.
All right, so their album Inhuman Rampage, which is what Through the Fire and Flames is on, came out when I first went to college. Came out in 2005, and that was my freshman year. I randomly one day stumbled upon, this is how I came upon the Midnight too. On Reddit, randomly, the song Memories was shared on Reddit from the Midnight. I listened to it. Oh, this is actually a pretty cool song. And I've become a giant fan since, my number one group. Well, the song Revolution Death Squad came on. It's a metal band. Came on Reddit one day, and I randomly listened to it, and they're like, hey, listen to this crazy drum solo. It has an insane drum solo at the beginning of it. I was like, that was impressive listening to. And then I started hearing the guitar parts of various songs, and I pull up their whole album and start listening to it. And then Guitar Hero comes out a couple years later, and Through the Fire and Flames is on that. It's like the hardest song ever to play. I attempted to play it. I could never make it through without turning the cheats on so I could actually get to the end of the song. And since then, watching Herman Lee and Sam Topman play guitar, the two guitar players from that band, is incredible to watch. I mean, they shred those guitars better than anybody I've ever seen, and it's so fascinating to watch. So from a live angle, I would love to go and just sit there and watch them. Now, you see some of their concert videos. I'm not a metal person, and I cannot fit within the crowd. Tyler would know more about this, but every time I pull up a video, there's circles running around and people are running into each other. So I want my little safe pod from a distance where I can just sit there and watch the show and watch the people too. The experience of going to a show like that, where I've never been to a show like that, would be fascinating. And so it's something I would pay a lot of money to go see. They will hardly ever come. I don't know if they've ever come to Birmingham or if they ever will come to Birmingham. They've replaced a lot of the people, but Herman Lee and Sam Topman are like the two that have been there the whole time. And Herman Lee does like Twitch streams and stuff where he plays guitar. Phenomenal guitar player. I'd love to go see them live.
Real quick, would a suite satisfy these concert needs?
Yes.
Okay.
I mean, that's better.
No.
That's better than a floating pod.
It has to be floating pod.
The only problem is the suite's over to the side. So having a
True.
floating pod, like if you had a suite like at Taylor Swift, it's more 50-yard line and she's going end zone to end zone. But yes, I would take a
Okay.
He
suite.
doesn't want something that arenas already have the infrastructure for. He wants something that
I
the
want a floating
Senate,
pod.
You want something just for
So
him.
simple.
just from Phantom
Yes.
Menace and Attack of the Clones and Revenge of the Sith. That's what he wants.
Yeah.
Which is a tough trilogy to get through. All right, let's go with number 4 on Lunce's list after Dragon Force made their debut into anything we've
I'll
ever
let you
talked
listen
about
to them.
before.
It's good music.
Okay. I'm not anti
You should
Dragon Force.
you should check out Polyphia, John. I think you'd like them.
Making up words again. Polyphia. Polyphia sounds like a drug that has a lot of different things that could give you bad side effects. That's what it sounds like to me. Try Polyphia today. All right. Number 4. Oh, okay.
Weird Al.
Okay. We're back on track.
Better than Dragon Force.
I know something about Weird Al. I know nothing about Dragon Force. Hey, EG, what's the chat saying about Dragon Force?
Literally nothing. Probably.
No, literally nothing.
Okay, that's what I wanted to know. That's literally that's the only update I wanted.
Check back in with me,
5.
though, because I did ask for their Lunce's list, so we'll throw out a few.
And we like when you send 5 through 1 all in one
We do.
chat.
We
That
do.
helps a lot. Okay, number 4, Weird Al. My favorite Weird Al song is White and Nerdy. I think that's the best Weird Al song for me.
A newer song.
A newer song.
In the grand scheme of his catalog. I would say my favorite album, probably Running with Scissors. It was just in a time that I was really into music. Late 90s was when it came out. And that's what has the episode 1 song at the beginning of it done to American Pie, which he hadn't seen the movie and still almost completely nailed.
Oh.
It's an incredible story, him writing that song.
That was the first time I was really introduced to spoilers because I listened to the song, I jammed out to the song, and then I went to go see the movie, and I was like, whoa, I knew everything that was going to happen based on the Weird Al song.
Yep.
And that is definitely one of the most influential songs in which I've ever heard just because of my love of film and being able to translate that with Weird Al's lyrics. So great mention there. What other?
Bad Hair Day, a good one too. The album before that, that's what had Amish Paradise on it. That album actually introduced me to the President of the United States because he did a Lump parody called Gump that was about Forrest Gump. And that then turned me on to them and all the songs they had. He does a good job, I think, of introducing people to new acts by copying them. And his music is good. He's entertaining with everything he does, and his show would be more of a spectacle.
Yeah.
So it'd be a fun concert to see.
These are the 5 acts that John's never seen before that he would like to see in person. He would happily pay money to see. So that's the mentality you should have with your list of who have you not seen before that's on sort of your bucket list concert.
I assume he still tours.
He does.
I assume he does.
I just looked it up. He is still touring.
Yeah.
He is still touring, and I hear he puts on one heck of a show for sure. All right, let's go to number 3 on Lunce's list. I still have yet to see the Weird Al movie that stars your boy, E.G.
Who's my boy? Joe Burrow?
No.
Oh.
Daniel Radcliffe.
Daniel Radcliffe.
Oh.
You're a Harry Potter fan.
Weird.
I do love.
That was real quick on Joe Burrow, by the way.
I do love Joe Burrow. Yeah, I thought that Weird Al was also made up along with Dragon Force for a second.
You thought Weird Al was made up?
I did.
What? Let's not expose EG here
it's
as
okay.
not knowing
We'll
anything.
cruise on from that. Yes, I know that. Yes, we're good on that one.
Okay, number 3. Foo Fighters at the number 3 spot. I'm actually surprised you've never seen Foo Fighters before.
So I really wanted to go this past summer when they came here, but the thing is I don't go to concerts in general, so I don't usually see, hey, this band's coming until the tickets are already sold out and you got to go to the aftermarket and it's like, I'm not paying that kind of price to go see it because I just don't care about concerts in general. So I didn't get to go see them because the third party ticket market was a little crazy.
You ended up catching a break. It poured down rain that night.
Poured down rain that night too.
But they played their hearts out. They extended that concert into the early morning hours, and they gave the fans everything in the pouring
Look, ever
rain.
since Dave Grohl broke his leg and then still got up there and finished, I mean, he's a dude that's going to be committed to the craft and the concert no matter what. Whether it's rain, shine, broken legs, doesn't matter.
You know who's going to love this number 3 spot? Kelsey Dollar.
Yep.
Kelsey, our sales manager here at Disrupt Media, she's a huge Foo Fighters fan, a huge Dave Grohl fan, and is going to be very proud of your number 3 spot there. What's your favorite Foo Fighters song?
Probably Monkey Wrench is my favorite.
That's a good one.
Foo Fighters song. Once again, a Guitar Hero discovery, by the way. But because the thing is, you listen to these albums and there's always 2 or 3 hits that you really go to. Not that Monkey Wrench wasn't a hit, but it's one of those. You hear My Hero, you hear certain songs, but then it's like, okay, this is a new one I can kind of get behind because you learn how to play the guitar, and then it's kind of you have a different view of it. Obviously, I would have loved to have seen them with Taylor Hawkins, but even still, I would like to go see them.
Give us a chat checkpoint here. Give us some information about some of the reaction, EG, from what you've got.
We've had good reactions. Foo Fighters might be the best concert I've ever been to. Great show.
That was Charles who sent that in.
Yep. Boo Reviews Boo's Life said loved Weird Al live. He showed up about 75 minutes late. Costume changed between every song. It was a mess, but I still enjoyed it.
Still feel like you got your money's worth there. Even
I do
though
feel
it's an
like
absolute mess.
Every concert almost has some off songs. Like either you don't care about the song or you can tell they're kind of, hey, this is more of a break song or something. I do feel like every song he would do would be a complete act in and of itself to where you may have to wait a little bit between songs, but you can respect every single song.
What else you got for us, EG?
Let's name someone else's Lunce's list. Let's do Brian. At number 5, U2. Number 4.
Now, hold on. I'm going to call
I will
a quick timeout.
only see them in the Sphere.
That's what I was going to say.
Oh, okay. Well, we agree on that
I mean,
one.
they're good. I just don't care
I
to
know
see them in concert.
Pat
necessarily.
McAfee was not happy about seeing U2 in the Sphere because he's like, the Sphere is awesome. It's a little overwhelming. It's awesome, though. but I didn't know a single song they played. And you should at least know one song.
I don't think I'd be that bad with U2, but yeah.
Anyway,
I
number
don't
4.
think that's U2's
Number
fault.
4. Let's see. Alanis Morissette.
Okay.
Interesting.
3. Dr. Teeth and the Electric Mayhem.
Nice.
That is a really nice touch there. That is a big.
I mean, yeah, I'd go see that.
I would too. Are they touring right now? I don't think so.
I don't think so.
Number 2. Any version of Queen going today.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
very tough to replicate the loss of Freddie Mercury, but they've done a tremendous job. I know Adam Lambert toured with
I
them.
liked Adam Lambert on American Idol. I'd 100% go see him.
Is
with
he
Queen.
still sort of the front man for Queen right now? Or they've gone a
good
different
question.
direction? I don't know the answer, but
Last I heard, he was still at that spot.
okay. And number 1,
Paul McCartney.
Paul McCartney. Yep, Paul McCartney made waves again this past fall, I guess, with the release of the last ever Beatles song. And he's sort of the voice behind the marketing campaign for all of it. And it was very touching, and I thought it was a great tribute to the legacy of the Beatles.
I almost watched Yesterday last night. I mean, I've already watched it, but it's one of those that, like, I'm so tempted to get back into.
You missed the opportunity. You say
I almost watched Yesterday.
Yesterday. You don't say I almost watched Yesterday last night. You
I almost
say
watched Yesterday tomorrow.
I almost watched Yesterday today, but I ended up watching the day after tomorrow. What?
Adam Lambert is still singing. Anyway, moving on.
Let's move on to number,
All right,
two
number 2.
before I ruin this whole thing I already have. Oh, man. I liked my "If You Feel Like You've Been Punched in the Mouth"
That was good.
transition. That was good.
I did like that.
Solid.
Talking it up. Okay, I'm done. Number 2. I can't see a thing. Can anybody see anything?
No, completely.
Oh.
The
It's
Weeknd.
The Weeknd. Ladies and gentlemen,
Wow.
The Weeknd.
Everybody's working for the weekend.
Interesting.
And no, I didn't misspell it.
No, you didn't. That is how it is spelled, which a lot of people have problems with.
Yes. I watched the SoFi concert that came on Max last year. Pretty good show. They filmed The Idol there, which was a terrible show. Don't recommend it, but you saw a little behind the scenes because they acted like it was Johnny Depp's daughter was the main character in it. They acted like it was her concert, but it was all his stuff set up, so it's kind of cool to see the behind the scenes stuff.
There's a Record Store Day release of The Weeknd live at SoFi coming out this Record Store Day this spring. I'm tempted, but it doesn't have Blinding Lights on it from what I can tell, and I need that on there.
Yeah.
Definitely his biggest song as of late. But, I mean, look, he's done really good, not only with his music itself, but doing songs for movies. You know, he had that song 50 Shades of Grey that was really good. He's done a lot of really good collaborations. I just think it would be a go-to because, once again, I want to be more about the spectacle, and he would be more of a spectacle, kind of what you get with somebody like a Taylor Swift or a Lady Gaga or so.
Okay.
So, yeah, The
The
Weeknd.
Weeknd. I was very unimpressed with the Super Bowl halftime performance of The Weeknd because I am a Weeknd fan, and I didn't think the sound mix was very good.
Yeah, I don't think it's his fault. That's the bad thing. It's always going to be remembered as a bad one, and I hate it because then people are like, The Weeknd was awful. It's like, The Weeknd is not awful. The mix was awful. The show, the presentation you got was awful, and so I hate it for him.
Brian does agree, saying, sadly, his Super Bowl show made me less interested.
I remember him walking through at one point. It was like a house of mirrors, and that was a cool setup, but it was also quite distracting when you could see the reflection of things. And I don't know. It was disappointing for me, but I'm trying not to hold it
I'd
against him
like to
long
see
term.
him, depending on who the act is, come back and be like what Justin Timberlake was with Janet Jackson, something like that. I'd like for him to come back and be that secondary person that you remember. Like I almost remember that Super Bowl for Justin Timberlake as like almost being his, even though he was there as side character to Janet Jackson. There's a reason you remember him very involved in that, but I'd like to see him come back and kind of be that second person to somebody else really big, because I think that would kind of be a good redemption thing for him to come do that.
Doesn't The Weeknd want to drop the name The Weeknd?
He does. He just wants to go be able.
Oh,
He
Abel.
wants to get into acting and basically kind of move into acting full time. He was not good in The Idol. He could be good. I think he could be a good actor. He just ain't there yet.
Isn't The Weeknd the most streamed artist in the world?
That is so interesting if he is.
I think he is. I'm going to check.
I think he was in the top 5. I
Sure, he's up
think
there.
I think Juice WRLD might have been number 1 and Weeknd number 2, but
That's
it could
not
have
who I would have
flipped.
thought would have been up there. I would have guessed.
Oh, Lucid
surely
Dreams
somewhere
was
along the way,
great.
Taylor
Taylor
Swift passed
Swift.
him. Drake, could have been up there. Rihanna
Bad
could have been
Bunny.
up there. Bad Bunny could have been up there, but Juice WRLD's not the one I would have said would have potentially been. That's nothing against Juice WRLD. He's fine, but that's just not the one.
when
I
I
would have
click
guessed.
on Spotify,
He may be. I don't know.
114 billion monthly listens. No, 114 million monthly listens. Whew, that would be a lot.
That's
Public education.
everybody in the world is listening. 100 times.
Number one in the world. Number one in the world, according to Spotify. Now, I take Spotify as being sort of the industry leader when it comes to streaming music, but whatever service
Hey, you know what?
use,
Rebel
maybe it's
Moon was the
different,
number one movie on Netflix, according to Netflix.
according to Zack Snyder.
Sorry.
Let's move on to number one on Lunce's list. Out of the 5 music acts that John would pay his hard-earned money to see that he has not already seen. So that excludes Taylor Swift. That excludes Lady Gaga, who he's a big fan of. That excludes, I don't know if that excludes who he's seeing this weekend or if that is at the number one spot. It does. You've seen her before.
No, but I'm counting it because I'm already paying.
Oh, you've already paid your money to see. Olivia Rodrigo. That is who John is going to see this weekend live in concert. So I thought Olivia Rodrigo would make the list, but he was trying to police himself here.
You got a good pick there.
Is it a
I
good
can
pick?
see
It's
it.
a good pick.
Let's see.
Let me guess. Travis Scott.
It is not, but that would be a good pick.
What is it? Is it somebody on Fortnite? I'm trying to pick somebody who's been on Fortnite. Post Malone? No. Daft Punk. This is why you asked the question you
Correct.
asked. Okay.
So I asked the question.
I'm fine with this pick. I'm
Okay.
fine with this pick.
Okay. I asked the question, does it have to be active people, group, individual or group? And you're like, oh, you mean like they're not touring? And I was like, well, more than that. Not that they're dead, you know. So like I would love to see like a Michael Jackson, you know, in his prime or something. I can't say that obviously because he's dead. Prince, I can't say because he's dead. Daft Punk is not dead. They're both still doing music. They have just gone their separate ways. So the example I used was like, what if like Brendan Urie decided, let's get the original Panic at the Disco back together and go on tour? That you know I could potentially see that happening. He gets bored one day and decides, hey, let's do it. But Daft Punk, the duo, has split. They are no longer together, but they're by far my number one group, right there with the Midnight. I would pay every penny I have in my account to go see Daft Punk in their prime right now.
Wow. Did you hear that, Daft Punk? That's enough reason to come out of retirement because you'll
Probably not
own,
enough money to make you come out of retirement.
you'll
Just throwing
own
that out
the
there, but
entire net worth of John Lunsford, and that's a pretty penny. My question to you is, do you walk out with one of the souvenir helmets that they'll be selling at the merch stand?
if I'm giving every penny I possibly own, maybe they can give me one of theirs.
Yeah.
Maybe.
I don't
You
know.
might as well.
I
hope so.
love, which the Weeknd being number 2 and Daft Punk being number 1 is no coincidence. They're right there next to each other because they did an album together.
I should have felt it coming.
Yeah, there
Starboy.
it is.
Okay, that's actually a good one that you did. Yeah, so they did Starboy and they did I Feel It
It's the
Coming.
first time John's genuinely laughed at anything. We've been doing this show for nearly 2 weeks. First time I've gotten a genuine laugh from John
It was
Lunsford.
the first time it actually worked. One of your puns actually worked.
First
Anyway,
time.
the white look they had in that one, they do instead of like one helmet's silver, one helmet's gold. Usually they did solid white. I would love to have one of those helmets. They have it's from the Grammys. I should say it's from the Grammys that year they won all their awards. But I mean, look, Random Access Memories I thought was incredible. Pharrell, a big part of that. Now Rogers, a big part of that. Then they come and help the Weeknd out with Starboy. So there's a lot of collaboration between those two, which is why they're number 1 and number 2. Daft Punk will probably never have that chance ever again for them to do it. But hey, they may get old and realize all we got to do is go up there and push a couple buttons. Let's go on a reunion tour, and they may do it. Who knows? Plus, they're not American, so then they'd have to come across the pond and do it over here.
I love the pick. Number 1, Daft Punk. Number 2, The Weeknd. Number 3, Foo Fighters. Number 4, Weird Al. Number 5, Dragon Force. There is one group that you're showing up to every single week, John, and that is our friends at Way to Wellness.
Yes, go visit Leslie and the team over there at Way to Wellness. Also visit aplanforme.com. You can learn more about them there and then go get that consultation. See if it's right for you. Tim's on it now too, and so we're helping each other out with that. Also, Jim Dunaway on it. My dad's on it. So have a whole support system here, but you know what? They're a whole support system over at Way to Wellness as well. So go visit Leslie and the crew over there. They're always so friendly to me. They always help me out, always a smile on their face. And yeah, visit aplanforme.com, learn more, and go to Way to Wellness.